Look at what we're going to do once we've got our pieces quilted or stabilized, whichever term you want to use. We're going to start placing all of our pieces. So you saw in the earlier movie, I just didn't talk about them. These are the little loops that we have so that we can hook a hand sanitizer and a chapstick on our bag on the inside. Those are going to go on the inside. What I'm going to say is we want to not have them like this, not have them opposite of each other. So you can see I've offset them. There's not like a number, just offset them. If you get them too low, they're going to be in the way of a pocket. So let me show you what that would look like. So had I made this loop, down here or lower, it's inside a pocket, that's obviously not good. So just be mindful of where the pocket top is. And you've got all that space to work in. All of those options are great. So as a scale, this is what a hand sanitizer holder looks like. And the one that has the chapstick is very similar. So you just don't want to get so far down that you're into trouble. Now, just by way of talking about it, this would be a key fob that teenagers will have their keys on. That loop is not going to be dealt with at this point in time because that's going to go up at the very, very top. And we'll deal with that in just a minute on the next video. So for now, let's just look. We have in our inventory, right, we've got some of these pieces. We've lined pockets, we ironed them, and now we're going to start working on placing them. So I'm going to recommend that you place the outside pockets first. So, get on the outside of this, and we have to find, we need the right shape. So that's going to be this one. And then you're also going to have a pocket flap. Now, because I'm just making a design choice, because I have my contrasting fabric out, I'm going to make my pocket flap in the main fabric. So what you're going to do, obviously, you can just stay stitch this. I only do mine right here. I don't sew all the way around, but you could. It's a little less worry if you want to do that. But the reason I would stay stitch that is because that helps me know where to place this pocket. And if you can see on the video, I'm placing it fairly close, and I am going to stitch on the very edge of this, really close to the edge. So I'll show you what it looks like. I have one actually finished so you can see it. So let's zoom in. You see how close I am on that? Just riding on the very, very edge. Maybe you missed it. Nope, it's really caught it close there. There's no stress on this, so there's no point in coming down into that flap. Now, because I have it nice and close, that's going to close nice and tight when I'm using the bag. It's not going to flop open. All right, so that matters. This is an example. I went ahead and stitched it down just so you could see if you wanted to. You can totally do that. It does make it stay put, and you're not going to have to worry about it later. Once you've done that, you're going to flip. Then you're going to get your inside pocket, and on this case, it's this one. Nope, wrong one. He goes this way. So you'll see, can I show you that? How this is, well, I could do this. That means over here, then I'll have one like that. So if I do that, that's kind of cool. I have a main fabric pocket and a lining pocket or contrast, and the same kind of thing on the inside, which, actually it does give you some way to memorize who's going where as a user. So you can tell if you try to lay that pocket on there wrongly like I did, and you try to pivot to get it to fit, it really is never going to fit properly like that. If you see that happening, just know you're laying it on wrong and you need to flip it over. There's a flat side, and that flat side has to marry up to this side. And you might have, like I did, cutting isn't, some days it just doesn't go the way it should on other days or whatever, and so it's not going to be even. What I'm going to recommend, once you have this pinned on here and you've done your stay stitching, trim that so it's clean. Because when you start to assemble it to the other pieces, if you don't have everybody meeting in the same place, you're going to have trouble. So once it's stitched on, trim that off, okay? So that's the pockets. On the inside, there's no pocket flap. That's why I'm recommending go ahead and sew the outside pocket flaps on first, stay stitch these guys down, then move to the inside pocket. That's probably the most complex aspect of this entire bag. We're going to set those aside for a minute, and we're going to talk about the panel, the long, thin panel. How you know where this is on the inside. Remember, on this bag, we're not putting a pocket on the outside. We're only putting one on the inside. And I've assembled my pocket. I need to find where that fold line was. So just go ahead and fold this in half, put pins where that is, and that's the bottom of this pocket. And then you're just going to place your pocket. And for me, I found it satisfactory simply to stitch along. Now I did fold that up and hem it. I only made a single layer pocket. If you're doing a full lining, which is what our instructions have you do, then you don't need to worry about folding this up. Yours already will be fully lined and a much better. I'm just making use of a pocket that was in existence. So then this is just going to get pinned down and stitched across the bottom. I think I may have actually talked about that in another movie. I'm not positive, but anyway, once that's done, just leave this pin in here. That'll be adequate for the future, for the rest of the assembly.